So my project today is to replace the cap rail on my deck, and I've already removed one piece here. This is the main body of the railing, and then what goes on top is this piece here, the cap rail. And this deck, it's been here about 19 years, and in that period it's been stained, but of course there's been some water that's penetrated into the wood here regardless of the stain, and that's damaged the wood, and so it's just time to replace it before winter comes. So I'll show you how I go about doing that. So my cap rail is mounted from the bottom, so that means the screws come up from the bottom so that there's no holes in the top, and so that's the screws here. And what we need to do is to take a screwdriver and unscrew all of these, and once that's done, then it'll just pop right off. So I've taken off the cap rail, and as you can see, the wood underneath is dry and clean, has no cracks or deterioration. This is what always impresses me about cedar that's been maintained. It's incredibly long-lasting wood. As I said, the deck has been here for 19 years and still going strong. So here are the cap rails I just took off, and as you can see, they are quite deteriorated on the top, but what I noticed was that when you flip these over, the reverse is in quite good shape. And I'm thinking that I'm going to opt to reuse these. I'm not a big fan of just throwing stuff in the garbage for the sake of getting new. And if these have lasted for 19 years, there's no reason the reverse can't be put to use. These are the boards after sanding, and they've come out beautifully. The wood that wasn't exposed to the elements, the grain is lovely. It's clear cedar. It's just withstood 19 years. I will fill the screw holes before I stain it and put it back on. On the reverse side, this was the part that was facing up to the elements and weather damaged. I won't stain this. I found that when we stain wood, and if there's moisture in it or if moisture gets into it, the stain just peels off and it doesn't dry as efficiently, and it just causes greater deterioration of the wood. So I'll put it back with the underside left as is, and with the new top side with the holes filled in and with a new coat of stain. This is the finished cap rail. I've stained it with 3 coats of stain, and we've just had a quick rain shower here. You can see how beautifully the water is beating up on it. It matches the existing railing, and yes, although the profile is the opposite of what it was, and so it's turned around, the fact that it's such a long run and your eye doesn't really go to the railing, meaning I haven't chopped it up in the middle, it's not that noticeable. And for recycling this wonderful wood, it looks great. So as a final note, this is my full deck, and 3 years ago I repurposed the deck surface. So it's pressure treated lumber. It was nailed down. I pried them all up, flipped them over, reused 80% of the pieces. The new pieces are the 4 or 5 rows over here. The rest of it was turned over, screwed down, sanded. I tend to leave my decks unstained. I just find it allows for better drying and easier maintenance. And at that time, what I did at the end of my deck here, where I have my potted plants, is I took industrial grade metal grating. So this is grating that they would use for docks or similar applications, and sunk 2 pieces flush with the deck at the ends so that the pots that I have on here are free draining and no longer cause any damage to the wooden deck surface.